Welcome to a special broadcast of the GuestX podcast. I'm your co-host, Matthew Loney, and I'm here with my co-host, Brian Hermaui, in beautiful Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where we are in attendance at the Phocuswright Summit, one of the leading travel conferences of the year. And I tell you what, Brian, we have a great guest. So Philip Ballard has joined us. He's the Chief Communications Officer and Head of Investor Relations at Hotel Planner, which, for some of our listeners, Hotel Planner, in the vacation rental industry is probably not a big name, but I think a couple of things that they're doing that are really cool that our listeners are going to want to hear about. But for those of you who don't know, Hotel Planner is a leading travel technology company that combines proprietary artificial intelligence, something we're going to be talking about here, and machine learning capabilities, and a 24/7 global gig-based customer service network to serve all traveler hotel needs from a single platform. So this is going to be a really cool conversation.
There's a lot to unpack there.
That's right. There is a lot to unpack there. And Philip, thank you very much for joining us.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So before we jump in, you guys have some big news. You are NASDAQ bound.
We are.
Yeah, huge. And you're doing it in kind of an interesting way. Explain the structure of how you guys are going public.
Sure. So in August, we announced an agreement providing for a three-way merger. So we're doing it via a SPAC, which is a special purpose acquisition company, which is a blank check company whose sole purpose is to find a target company like ours and take us public. So we've merged with Estrella Acquisition Corp. And what makes this unique, it's a three-way SPAC merger, so we're also merging with reservations.com. So upon closing, the Hotel Planner family of brands will be our flagship website, hotelplanner.com, meetings.com, which is our business-focused site, and then reservations.com. So it's very exciting.
So at the beginning of the year, it was trendy to do a SPAC, but now you got to do a three-way SPAC.
Right, they've taken it to a different level.
That's right. It's not good enough just to do a SPAC. No, congratulations, man. It's really cool.
Thank you very much. It's very exciting.
Absolutely. So give just a brief overview of Hotel Planner. It's got a really cool background. It never raised it, all bootstrapped, which, like, I hate to say it, in today's day and age, I mean, I'm sure there's a few, but there's not many. I mean, it's just really tough to do. But give us a little bit of history.
Sure. So in 2004, co-founders Tim Henschel and John Prince got together, and they had a simple, I think, yet profound idea, which was just to revolutionize the group travel booking experience. If you recall, back in the early .com era, I mean, a lot of hotels still didn't have their website. It was still done via fax and phone. Very inefficient, time-consuming process to book a wedding, to book a family reunion, a church tour, whatever the group travel experience was. We have revolutionized that with e-contracting, and instant group booking, and online negotiations, and that's the last 17 years of our evolution. And what we did last year, we realized we can gigify a big portion of our traditional call center and turn it into a 24/7 global gig economy-based hotel planners. There's event planners, there's wedding planners, so now we have gig-based hotel planners. We're in about 5 countries right now. We have engaged about 3,000 or so. And of course, there's a churn. But over time, we hope that these agents will become smarter and smarter. And what we are doing is using our artificial intelligence VoIP to connect the right customer with the right agent. So for example, you're going to Boston and you want to take your family to Fenway Park for a baseball game. You want a hotel near Fenway, and you want some good restaurants nearby. So you give all that information. The gig agent connects with you, and they already have that information, and they can book you a discounted rate for someone that's going to a sporting event or someone that's going to Fenway, because it's an offline, private, closed sales environment.
Wow, that's fascinating.
It really is. I think a lot of people still want to have that human interaction when they're planning, especially if you're going to an area you've never been to.
Yeah.
But it's nice to be able to combine the two, right? And have someone who already knows. I don't have to spend the time kind of educating them to get them now to the point where they can actually start to be of help to me, right? I mean, that's
Yep.
I think it's huge.
And what we realized during the height of the pandemic, about May of 2020, is we were getting a big influx of calls, and we just didn't have enough people to field the calls. And so we realized, we put friends and family on our call center because, there was folks that, were laid off or furloughed, had some downtime, wanted to make a few extra bucks. So it's really revolutionized our business model, and it's become our big go-to-market initiative in the post-pandemic environment.
Tell our listeners how you guys are vetting the people that are working for you guys.
So we want people ideally that have some travel experience or some familiarity with that. Good customer service folks, people that are good on the phone. All they need is a good Wi-Fi and a laptop and a good headset. That's really all they need, and a good background check. And then we do some training with them, and they can start taking calls within a week or two.
Wow. And when you say gig-based, so these are independent contractors. I mean, you think Uber drivers, right? So who can pick up shifts when they want to pick up shifts, I'm guessing, kind of like Uber. You turn it on and turn it off.
Exactly. We can't tell them exactly when to log on. Now we can say, look, it's the holiday season. There's an influx of calls. We'd love you to log on today. And
here's when more of the calls are coming. So if you want to make lots of money and take lots of calls, that might be a time.
Exactly. So we can do that, post hurricane or post natural disaster or during a popular sporting event.
Wow.
In a certain city.
Yep.
Things like that. So it's dynamic.
So in order to be able to handle that kind of call volume, how many lines do you guys currently have?
Well, so we actually have
How do you do that?
We have about 30,000 1-800 numbers, and so we have those pop up as you're searching for your room. We actually incentivize and encourage you to call one of our agents. We want you to call us because then we can offer you ideally a discounted rate through a closed private sales environment, which doesn't force you to follow rate parity.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, we talked about this earlier. I mean, that is because the rates that you guys have access to do need to be in a closed environment. That's why you've got to push. So, like a lot of good technology, part of the solution here seems like it was kind of it was really to fill a business need, because if you guys were wanting to continue to provide these deals, you had to find a way to do it really efficiently to get people to call.
And I think the realization for us in the middle of the pandemic was that personalization and customization are really going to be the new trend lines for booking. So we can personalize our service. You call an agent, and ideally they live in that city, and they can recommend restaurants or places to stay or go, and find you a good discounted hotel stay. Or let's say you want to go to Paris. Well, you want to speak with a French speaker, so we can connect you with a French speaker. And over time, we'll be able to add more and more of those amenities and make our AI VoIP system smarter and smarter. And we interview the agents, and we ask them, what are the 3 cities you know really, really well, where you would consider yourself very knowledgeable? And what are some, activities and leisure things that you're into? So if a person's really into sports and a customer's going to a sporting event, then we'll connect you to someone that likes doing sports-related bookings.
Do you have a loyalty program? I mean, like if I call in and maybe I've booked a couple things with you guys, are you keeping track? Are you building a guest profile so that call center can get AI? You got to be probably from an AI standpoint, right? Get smarter.
We're tracking every single call and every single detail within the calls. We do have a preferred membership program that we are relaunching in the coming months. We do have a loyalty program as well for the hotels. So those are things that are either in progress or we are preparing our 2.0 version of that.
Well, tell us a little bit about how you're implementing that with voice technology as well.
So the other cool thing is that we have now enabled the Alexa app or the Alexa device to connect you to a gig agent. So let's say you're making your dinner for your family and you just don't want to be able to pick up the phone and you just need to make a reservation quickly. Once you enable the hotel planner skill on Alexa, you can just say, Alexa, connect me to a hotel planner. Or Alexa, make me a reservation in New York City for a certain date.
Yeah.
And then within 30 seconds, the gig agent will call your cell phone, you jump the queue, there's no queue. So you don't have to wait 10 or 15 minutes for someone to call you back. You get a call within 30 seconds and they say, oh, okay, I see you want to go to Boston on this date, 2 rooms, 5 people or 4 people, okay, here are the 5 options. Recommend this hotel because it's near Fenway Park, etc.
Yeah.
So this is fascinating. We talk about this all the time. which is you cannot do this type or this level of guest experience without a human behind it.
Yep.
These guys have managed to do technology really well, implement humans, and then basically take the whole experience to the next level.
And I think what we've said is that ultimately the guest experience is human driven, but the technology is what makes it look easier.
Yeah.
And that's what the AI is doing. And I got to tell you, just from a personal standpoint, I was thrilled when I heard someone bring up voice, because as a travel company that is all in on voice at Explory, you come to the largest travel conference in the world, and there's still not a lot of people talking about voice. So this kind of makes me go, okay, we're not losing our mind.
And I think where the Internet of Things trend is going,
Sure.
with smart homes, smart offices, smart cars, more and more products and services are going to be voice enabled and voice activated. And you're already seeing it in Disney World, I think.
Absolutely.
You can say-
Disney's going to put in
you can say,
30,000 Alexa devices.
Yeah.
With the screens. I think they're putting in the Echo 5s. And, I could be wrong on this step. I think there's somewhere 30% or so of all internet searches this year will be done via voice. Now, initially, right now, that's a lot on phones, right? But we all know that's how they get you, right? You get used to doing stuff with your phones, and then it turns into a smart device at the house.
We're adjusting to it.
We are,
right? And they're doing it in small bits and pieces without us realizing that we're actually doing it.
Yeah.
So we're getting comfortable to the technology,
Yep.
and then they'll take it to the next level.
And there'll be a learning curve, and there'll be an onboarding. It's not going to happen overnight, but I think over the next 3, 4 to 5 years, you're going to see more and more voice-activated services and startups, and hopefully we're ahead of the technology curve.
Sure.
In that regard, we'd like to say we're high tech, high touch.
Yeah.
And
It'll be interesting. I mean, I think car technology is going to help with that. A lot of people really don't correlate the two, but the more you get used to speaking to your car and asking it for directions, things to do, a lot of that technology, you'll get used to using it. Same thing with your cell phones.
Absolutely.
It's really cool. Well, hey, Philip, thank you so much for coming and joining us. I think there's so much there that our listeners are going to get really excited about. I mean, obviously at the end voice, but vacation rentals in particular, and even the hotels still, that a lot of reservations still made. People want to call, ask questions, and what you guys are doing with the AI on the call center, the customer service center side of things is really, really cool. And best of luck to you guys with going public. Is that scheduled in the spring? Is that when we could kind of target? There isn't a date yet.
We are in the middle of our DSPAC period,
Okay.
so we are under SEC review, and assuming that all goes well, we anticipate closing and becoming HOTP or Hot P on NASDAQ within the next few months.
Hot
Wow.
P.
That's awesome.
Within the next year, yeah, actually, very, very cool, and we will watch out for it. Thank you again for joining us. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.